Imagine building your entire brand on a fairy tale friendship, only for your friends to rip it apart in public. Yeah, this isn't your typical YouTube breakup. This is influencer drama, shattered friendships, and the downfall of a luxury fantasy. You probably know Emilst. She and her husband pump out those ultra cringy CEO husband spoils me with $50,000 videos, flexing luxury cars, designer bags, and staged rom-com vibes. Their whole shtick is living the dream life of a rich, perfect couple. But here's the plot twist. The drama isn't from haters or commentary channels. It's from her own friends, Hyoga and Teddy. Hyoga and Teddy are the relatable couple version of Emilst and her husband. They make couple content too, but it's more chill, less scripted. Think real laughs, awkward bloopers, and sweet moments that don't feel fake. They're not pushing a fantasy, they're sharing a relationship. For a while, these two couples were inseparable. Collabs, double dates, appearing in each other's content, the whole social media friendship goals package. But then, it all came crashing down. And the trigger? A single petty Instagram story post. That's all it took to ignite this internet friendship breakup. The whole mess kicked off with a not-so-subtle Instagram story from Emilst. She didn't drop any names, but let's be real, it was aimed straight at Hyoga and Teddy. The story read something like, "My husband is respectful and doesn't follow half-naked girls online." Classic passive-aggressive influencer shade. The internet instantly knew she was calling out Hyoga, hinting that he wasn't as loyal as her CEO dream husband. But here's the kicker. That story wasn't just some random "I'm better than you" moment. It came after some serious behind-the-scenes tension. Screenshots had been floating around, showing that Teddy and Hyoga caught Emilst copying their content ideas, like frame-for-frame copying. They even had receipts. But wait, it gets uglier. Emilst wasn't done. She posted another story which she quickly deleted, where she reportedly body-shamed Teddy. Yep, instead of addressing the plagiarism accusations, she decided to take a cheap shot at Teddy's appearance. This wasn't influencer beef anymore, this was personal. Teddy's response? She didn't go on a rant. She didn't start a messy back and forth. She reposted an old story of herself embracing her natural body, pairing it with a powerful self-love message. It was the ultimate "I'm unbothered" move, and the internet loved it. But before we go further, let's talk about Hyoga and Teddy for a second, because not every influencer couple is built the same. A lot of people lump all these couples together, thinking it's just another pair flexing Gucci bags and gifting each other PS5s for content. But Hyoga and Teddy, they're different. Their vibe isn't "look how rich we are." It's more like, look how we're figuring life out together. Their content is filled with funny couple challenges, awkward behind-the-scenes moments, and just regular day-in-the-life stuff that actually feels real. Hyoga especially has built a rep for being fiercely loyal. He's always hyping up Teddy in his posts, whether it's about her latest project or just being proud of how far they've come. He's been in the influencer game long enough to see the fakeness, but he never acts like he's above anyone. So when Emilst threw shade at him, his response wasn't some clout-chasing rant. It was personal. It hit different, because he's not the type to air drama unless it's real. And Teddy, she's the heart of their channel. She doesn't just post cute couple selfies. She talks about image struggles, mental health, and what it's like having your relationship picked apart by strangers online. She's built her audience by being vulnerable, by being human. That's why people trust her. That's why when she responded to Emilst shaming, it didn't feel like drama. It felt like standing up for herself. So no, this wasn't about beef for views. This was two people who were genuinely hurt by someone they thought was a friend. Once Hyoga's story went live, the internet erupted. Fans started picking sides fast. Some were defending Emilst, saying all influencers fake a little. But a growing crowd wasn't buying it anymore. People pulled up old clips comparing her spontaneous luxury surprises to videos Hyoga and Teddy had posted months earlier. The timelines didn't lie. Comment sections turned into war zones. Even Emilst's own followers started asking uncomfortable questions, like where exactly does her husband work? The fairy tale was slipping, and Emilst, she was dead silent. The perfect couple brand was collapsing in real time. Hyoga said to Emilst that your relationship is as fake as your husband's credit card. He also fired back at Emilst's accusations about following half-naked girls, specifically cosplayers. He clarified that many of them are his friends, actual content creators, not random thirst follows. And then he hit her with the ultimate hypocrite card. It's funny how you're so pressed about what's appropriate when your own videos are filled with suggestive content, most of which is watched by kids. That one stung. The comments went wild, calling out the double standards. The internet loves receipts, and Hyoga came armed with all of them. He also revealed something even more serious. Amost has a habit of threatening to sue people for posting negative content about her. This includes people leaving comments, small creators, and even fans who criticize her. That's not normal behavior. It's controlling. After the internet dragged her for days, Emilst finally responded. She posted what looked like an apology, but you know how this goes. It was less, "I'm sorry," and more, "I'm sorry you were offended." She said she was still learning and admitted to making mistakes, but then flipped it, blaming people twisting her words and insisting she had always supported Hyoga and Teddy. Classic influencer victim card. Instead of taking real accountability, she played it off like she was being misunderstood. But at this point, the damage was done. People saw through it. The fake fairy tale was in shambles. Emilst's so-called apology felt more like damage control than anything genuine. The entire post focused on how hurt she felt, without ever addressing what she actually did. No mention of the content copying, no acknowledgement of the personal insults, and definitely no accountability for turning a simple disagreement into a full-on smear campaign. And here's the thing. The internet is surprisingly forgiving when influencers own up to their mistakes. But when they don't, when they double down, deflect, and play victim, that's when people turn. And Emilst? She just made it worse. Emilst and her husband vanished from YouTube. The couple who used to crank out daily shorts suddenly stopped posting. No new videos, no new flexes, just gone. For fans, that silence said everything. This wasn't just internet drama anymore. This was the collapse of an entire brand. Because when the very people who once helped you grow, your friends, your collaborators, start exposing you, it's pretty hard to keep up the illusion of a perfect life. Emilst built her image on a fantasy, but fantasies, they don't last. Not when the truth is coming from people who actually know you behind the scenes. And let's be real, if your content depends on people believing your husband hands you $50,000 every week, well, once people stop believing it, there's really not much left to watch. In the end, this wasn't just drama, it was a trust collapse. Emilst lost hers the moment she turned on people who actually had her back. She tried to sell the perfect fairy tale, but all she did was prove how fake it really was. And here's the lesson for anyone watching. When your entire brand is built on pretending, the absolute worst thing that can happen is someone pulling back the curtain. Massive shout out to Hyoga and Teddy, not just for standing up for themselves, but for showing what real loyalty and respect actually look like on the internet. If you want more breakdowns like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And hey, next time you're tempted to post a shady little story for some quick likes, you might want to think twice. Someone always has the receipts. I'll see you in the next one.
You look closely in their videos, you'll notice something else. The wife is always the one recording. You can only see one of her hands at a time, which means the other hand is holding the camera. Now, tell me, what kind of CEO with all the money in the world wouldn't just hire someone to film for them? Exactly, they're operating on a low budget. That's also why, if you think about it, they barely have any long-form videos on their YouTube channel, because longer content takes effort and resources to make, and since they don't have much of either, they spam YouTube Shorts instead, which is probably where most of their income comes from. And let's be real, it's not easy to become a CEO in your 20s, especially when there are men twice that age who have been working at the same company for decades.